Joy and happiness, it's not always a given in our lives. Sometimes it feels that all we are experiencing is stress and drama and difficulties. So what is good to remember when we find ourselves not being happy or joyful is to remember that the very characteristic of life is change. So life changes, it's just the way it is. So that's good to know, especially in those moments when we are not experiencing so much peace or joy or happiness, is to remember that also this shall pass and soon I will feel better again. Norberto, nice to see you too here. And so yes, everything changes, and it's good to remember that if you're feeling down or rejected or unworthy or lonely or sad or angry right now, just remember also this shall pass. So then, what is joy and happiness? Before we get into the really juicy stuff, I wanted to say that of course there's this kind of joy and happiness that we can feel from when we get our wishes fulfilled, or when we see some material gain in our lives. Let's say, for instance, that we wanted to have a new car, and then we get this new car, and the joy and happiness for most of us, or how the mind usually works for us human beings, is that when you get something, the mind gets used to it, and soon the mind wants to go after the next thing. So that would be a kind of an endless cycle of trying to find happiness and joy outside of us. And that's not, of course, it's okay, it's fully okay, completely okay to enjoy all those material things that we are given or that we wish to have. That's completely okay, nothing wrong with that. But just being aware of that this is how the mind works, that and we need to become okay also with that when we don't get our wishes fulfilled, that regardless we can find a place within us that is still very joyful and happy when life doesn't go as we wanted it to go, or when life doesn't go as we have planned for our future. And just resting in the knowledge that whatever life brings us is the best for us, it's for what is highest and best for us. So that's something to keep in mind. And then this deeper kind of joy can be accessed through gratitude. And I wanted to share, I think I might have shared it with you also earlier, but the practice that I've done now for a while, can't remember exactly, but more than half a year, consistently, every single day, not missing even one day. So every single night, just before I go to bed, or actually I'm already laying in my bed and about to fall asleep, I go through at least three things that I'm grateful for during that day, for what has happened or whatever I might have in my life. And when you get going, you'll soon notice that you cannot stop with those three things that you have started to list. Now you want to go on and on and on and on. So this will immediately, this practice of gratitude, and really I know it works because I've tried it myself. I'm not just saying it because I've read it in a book. It really works, and it lifts us up to a kind of higher vibration where we feel again this inherent joy and happiness that we are. So try that. I would really put the challenge out now, that try it for at least, let's say, 2 weeks or even 4 weeks consistently. Every single night before you fall asleep, list at least three things that you are grateful for. And it could be very also the obvious things that you have in your life already now. It could be that you would hear me if I would go through my list. It would be something like this: Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the food I've been able to eat today. Thank you for my bicycle. Thank you for the rainy weather, because it allowed me to take it a little bit easier and just stay inside and make myself comfortable. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for so many things. And the list just goes on and on and on. And it really switches our minds into a kind of other mode, and it makes us, I would say, it's the route to get into the heart, to our own heart, to feel this gratitude, and it connects us with our true self. It connects us with our heart, and it helps us to remember who we really are. So then we come to this other second point that I would even call the fast track into joy and happiness, gratitude being the one, and then gratitude can bring us to the second one, and that is to remember who we are. And who we are, yes, we are this physical body, we are having this earthly experience, and we have our minds, nothing wrong with that, completely as it should be, but we also are something much more deeper. We are the light that we carry within, and even when we are in those moments that we are feeling perhaps a little bit down or stressed out or sad or angry or whatever it is that we are facing at a certain point in time in our lives, we can still remember who we really are. And especially in those moments, trying to remember and trying to remind ourselves, I'm more than this body, I'm more than this mind, I'm more than these thoughts in my head, I'm more than the emotions and feelings I'm experiencing right now. I am the very witness of all these things. I'm the silent, peaceful, joyful awareness that's looking at all these things, and that awareness is always at complete peacefulness, in complete joy, in complete contentment. And that is who we really are. What is standing in the way for us to remember or see that from time to time is just the ego mind that stands in the way from this light that we carry within to shine forth. We just have to remember that, and gratitude is one way to go into that heart space again and remember the joy that we have within. And thirdly, this is I feel it's quite a new thing that I'm just exploring myself right now, and I've been perhaps exploring it for a few months, but I still wanted to share with it you right now, and maybe you can try out it too. I've been having this thought that the world we are living in right now, regardless of all the horrible things that also goes on in our world, on this earth, regardless, this is heaven. This life we are living right now is heaven. This is the Garden of Eden where we are living, again, regardless wherever we are in this world. This is it. It's not something out there, we all know that, but in a very practical way. And what I've been exploring is to, especially when I go outside just for walking nature or bicycling or yes, going outdoors, and seeing, let's say, even if I go into a city, I would look around, I would see all the things that are beautiful, and the list again can go on and on and on and on. It's really a switch in our perception and what we choose to focus on. Do I focus on that pile of garbage that's right over there, or do I actually just move my already there? And we start to see, and this is a kind of feeling that we are coming back to this joy and happiness and carefree joy that we felt when we were kids. And it's really awakening this little child that we are carrying within to see all these little wonders that's all around us. Think about a child would walk across a parking lot or something. I would see a feather on the ground, on the concrete. Remember how happy you were, and you can still see that when you see a kid finding a little feather on the street. You can see the joy and happiness, like look what I found. And this is the kind of attitude that we can start to cultivate, and it will bring us back a part of this carefree joy and happiness that we really carry within us. It can sound a little bit childish, but that is also the point. All of us, we have this little kid inside of us that loves all the fun stuff and not taking things too seriously. So this, for so many of us, we have chosen this, or feel we have chosen this kind of spiritual path, and really inquiring, who am I, and I want to get to know my true self, and so forth. We don't have to become too serious about it. It's instead expanding the joy also that we are carrying within. So those were the 3 points: finding gratitude, and then remembering who you really are. You are the light that you carry within, the love that you carry within, regardless if you feel it or not, regardless if you see it or not, or if you just occasionally feel it, that's okay too. And then thirdly, adopting a kind of this childlike joy and seeing everything and choosing where you focus and seeing everything as a miracle, and remembering that you have a choice where you put your focus, and focus on all the beautiful things that you see around you.